the Sydney Opera House during construction. The Peel P50, built on the Isle of Man between 1962 and 1965, is officially recognised as the world's smallest production car. John Brower Minnoch was the heaviest person ever, 600 kilograms. A photographer tracked down people he photographed 30 years ago to recreate the same pictures. A woman having a seam painted onto her leg to make it appear that she's wearing stockings, 1926. Unicycles, bicycles on one wheel on the square in front of the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, 1920s. A Zulu tribesman pulls a tourist in a pedicab in Durban, Union of South Africa, 1930s. Weakened prisoners lie on an embankment behind the concentration camp barracks after its liberation. Olympic shooting, Stockholm, Sweden, 1912. General Noble Tree was felled in 1892 and shipped in sections to the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, where its massive trunk was reassembled so fairgoers could see it for themselves. Austrian prisoner of war. A French light tank, the Stuart, on the streets of liberated Mulhouse, 1944. Club-goers inhale laughing gas on the dance floor during the first annual Halloween party at Studio 54, New York City, October 31st, 1977. Street scene of Afghanistan, 1979, before Soviet invasion, United States intervention and Taliban formation. German prisoners of war in France, 23 September 1944. This iconic 1985 image of Concorde, red arrows and Cunard's Queen Elizabeth II was hailed as the photograph of the century. Victorian woman with unusual very short hair circa 1850s. A cult object of Caudaism, a religion founded in 1926 and popular in French Indochina, now Vietnam. Caudaism combined elements of many religions: Christianity, Confucianism, Buddhism, Islam, and Aoism. Vietnam, Paul Popper, 1938. Catherine Sui Fan Chung, the first Chinese-American woman to earn a pilot's license in 1932. Two fishermen knit their winter woolies, Ramsgate, Kent, England, 1940s. Don Cossacks in the service of Russia. Al Capone and boxer Jim Braddock working out at Capone's Palm Island estate in the late 1920s. Sigourney Weaver in a Parisian cafe, 1979. Japanese women undergo military training at a Tokyo textile factory, 1941. National Guard troops crush stills in the Bourbon Industries Center, Kentucky, United States, 1922. Girls with Chickens serving in the United States Army, 1940. An acrobat on the roof of a building. Two parents and their 9 daughters and 0 sons in the early 1940s. Quackoodle Dancer, c. 1914. Ice block production in the early 20th century. The Frogman visits the Little Mermaid, Copenhagen, 1965. Harold Lloyd climbs a wall to perform his clock stunt in the film Safety Last from 1923. James Dean with Valley Keene, Elizabeth Taylor's double, on the set of Giant 1955. Living Staircase. David Copperfield in his youth. A female logger moving logs downstream in New Hampshire circa 1938 to 1945. President Bill Clinton meets with Pearl Jam singer Eddie Vedder the day after news of Kurt Cobain's death, 1994. The Vespa Siluro Torpedo is a special racing scooter designed to set speed records, February 1951. The USS Missouri BB-63 about to be hit by a Japanese A-6 M0 kamikaze while operating off Okinawa on April 11, 1945. The plane hit the ship's side below the main deck, causing minor damage and no casualties on board the battleship. Krista McAuliffe, the teacher in space, donning her launch entry helmet during training circa 1986. Brigitte Bardot. American schoolgirl Samantha Smith in Artek during a trip to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, which she went on thanks to a letter written to General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union Central Committee, Yuri Andropov. 1983. Courtney Cox says the word period for the first time on television in a 1985 Tampax commercial. First Lady Jackie Kennedy sits at a cafe in Ravello in the late evening during a family vacation. Photo of the devastating aftermath of James Dean's crash. Radio City Rockettes all lined up on stage, New York City, 1946. American professional boxer Sugar Ray Robinson, 1951. Two very flamboyant ladies from the early 1900s on their Sears motorcycle. Fire at the Hartford Circus, United States, July 6, 1944. Two elephants sitting on a bench. Sophia Loren at the 1956 Winter Olympics in Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. New York, 1953. A boy looks up in surprise. Kim Kardashian and TJ Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, dated from 1994 to 1996. Dating tip for women from Parade magazine back in 1938. A bride preparing for her wedding, England, 1890s. Danny Green entering the United States Attorney's Office in Cleveland in 1964, nearly a decade before he was linked to a string of crimes and later died in a car bombing. Coalbreaker boys outside the Woodward coal mines in Kingston, Pennsylvania. Their job was to detach impurities from coal as it travelled down conveyor belts, sitting for hours on wooden benches picking impurities like slate and rock from coal by hand. Circa 1890. Bicycle and Watsonian child sidecar, Berlin, 1931. Behind the scenes photo from the making of Godzilla vs. Megalon, 1973. A motorcycle with a sidecar for two passengers circa 1920. Sir Ernest Shackleton's crew after surviving 2 years trapped in Antarctic ice, 1916. Not a single soul was lost. Kodak advertising float back in 1912. The girl standing at the top of the camera is the Kodak girl. A 32-year-old mum trying to start a new life in California, March 1937. The ride that almost killed us all in the 1990s. Father and daughter in Halloween costumes. Elvis Presley before rising to fame, photographed in the early 1950s. Real photo of Titanic passengers walking on deck, 1912. Kazusa Nakamura as Lady Battlecop on Nobutorakopu, 1990. The last picture of the cast of Friends before they became famous in 1994. An Ethiopian delegation poses in Japanese traditional costumes while on a diplomatic visit in 1931. During the visit, arrangements were made for an Ethiopian nobleman to marry Kuroda Masako, a Japanese woman, found after publishing an ad in a newspaper. John Travolta, 1954. Iranians pull down statue of Shah Reza. The treeless landscape of Nebraska, United States before Arbor Day was created in 1872. Tom Waits, 1985. A teenage boy holds a picket sign reading "I'm a victim of rock" at a Washington, D.C. protest against rock music. Old Charlie Chaplin, 1974. Cigarette holder on the leg. The car drove into the pool. A Red Cross nurse gives medicine to a Holocaust survivor following the liberation of a camp near Hanover, Germany, 1945. Three kids born same day, 1958. Australian ex-prisoners of war practiced cricket on the flight deck of HMS Formidable while returning to Sydney, 1945. Charles Lindbergh arrives at London after a flight from Brussels in his Ryan monoplane, the Spirit of St. Louis, 1927. A crowd of around 100,000 turned out to see him arrive, 8 days after his completion of the first solo transatlantic flight, a boy from a wealthy family, Korea in the early 20th century. Aboriginal slave child, Western Australia, circa 1900. Dancer-actress Sarita with her Petanak partner, circa 1937. Santa fires a 105mm howitzer in Quang Ngai, South Vietnam, Christmas Day, 1969. Adolf Hitler gives the salute at the parade of stormtroopers in Weimar. The visit of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, to China in October 1986. A demonstrator pulls a soldier out of an armoured personnel carrier during the August coup in Moscow, August 19, 1991. Japanese traders prepared for the arrival of Soviet soldiers on South Sakhalin, August 1945. San Francisco earthquake and fire, April 1819, 06 Law Courts. The Hidden Fan, 1949. A hotel chef watches from behind a screen as Marlene Dietrich gives a press conference at the Savoy Hotel. Still from Enter the Dragon, with Bruce Lee fighting with a then unknown Jackie Chan, who at the time was a stuntman hired as an extra, 1972. November 11th, 1932, clash with police by Scottsboro pickets outside the Supreme Court. Children on Car, taken by German photographer Miron Zonier in New York City in the 1980s. (1982) David Bowie and Catherine Deneuve playing chess during the break on the set of The Hunger. (1961) Mob attacked Freedom Riders in Anniston, Alabama. Ronald Fisher, beekeeper, Davis, California, 1981. An Elvis Presley impersonator with his mother at the On-Broadway Club in San Francisco, 1980. Trench raider during World War I, sometime in 1914 to 1918. Mamie Van Doren, 1950s. Four-year-old Riyad al-Sol, who would become the first Prime Minister of independent Lebanon, 1898. Steve Irwin and his wife Terry on their wedding day in 1992. (1973) 8-year-old Björk playing a recorder. Salvador Dali finds inspiration while painting, 1947. A young man says goodbye to his grandmother as he parts to war, circa 1917. Single-parent Ermeline Indenberken and Leo DiCaprio pose for a portrait in their home, Los Angeles, California, 1975. A planning meeting at the Sands Hotel construction site in Las Vegas, 1975. Long weekend camping in the 1974 Chevrolet Vega hatchback coupe. When people used to dress up to sit on the beach. Park Avenue at 63rd Street, taken in 1958 by photographer William Helber. Elton John in flight, Chicago, 1976. Vivian Kubrick with her father, 1990s. For one brief, wondrous moment, a fashion trend of giant proto-JNCO, extremely wide-legged pants known as Oxford bags, took England by storm. Flying boat Dornier Du 10. (1954) New York City. Man catching those rays of vitamin D with old school reflector. Joseph Goebbels awards 16-year-old Hitler Youth member Willy Hübner the Iron Cross for the defense of Lobon. March 9th, 1945. Lamplighter 1898. American film star Jane Mansfield, London, 1957. A man with pigeons on his arms and shoulder as he feeds them outside St Paul's Cathedral in the City of London, England, January 1920. The world's largest tricycle, 1898. Frida Kahlo wears a suit in a family portrait taken in 1927 when she was 19 years old. Interior of a Siemens factory, Nuremberg, 1910.